Welcome to Minnesota SportsTalk. I'm Josh Cohen.
I'm Carter Burquest.
Today we're talking about all of Minnesota sports. Super exciting topic. Just kidding, it's a little depressing. We actually did a video a year or two ago about which team could win a championship first.
Yeah.
And we were so excited about the up-and-coming Wolves and the Vikings, and even the Twins had the prospects and the Wild. This video is the exact opposite. This last calendar year, not including this summer, the last summer Twins, that calendar year has been, in my 31 years of existence, the most disappointing year for Minnesota sports.
Yeah.
Honestly. But I want to know which one was more disappointing. I got a list here. I'll read through the options that you have for how disappointing this year was. Just in case you weren't sad enough, let me remind you of how terrible it was.
Don't bring back the bad memories.
Twins lost over 100 games. It was a year that we thought maybe they could do something after just missing the playoffs the year before. Lost over 100 games. The Vikings started 5-0 with all these injuries and then ended up finishing 8-8 and missing the playoffs. Very, very depressing. We were talking Super Bowl at the bye week. The Timberwolves got Tibbs, second year with Cat, third year with Wiggins and
Supposed
Levine.
to make the jump.
Maybe this is the year we could at least contend for the playoffs. They only win about 30 games again, just as bad as the year before. Again, the Wolves missed the playoffs, nowhere near where we thought they would be. The Wild, best regular season in franchise history, most points they've ever won in a season, still losing the first round.
Yeah.
Sure, they outplayed the Blues, but they basically got swept. I mean, I know they won a game, but basically got swept. I mean, they never really were in that series. And if you want to even throw the Lynx in there, I know you don't follow the Lynx that closely, but they lost in the finals basically on a blown call in the final game of the finals. And so that was pretty depressing if you're a Lynx fan. You also have that to be sad about. So you can, for once, the Lynx can join in the misery and they can be disappointed as well. So long list, very disappointing. Which professional Minnesota sports team had the most disappointing season last year?
That's tough. I mean, it really is tough reading and hearing that back. I think it honestly depends how you want to define disappointing. I think the biggest letdowns were the Vikings and the Wild. Yeah. Because they brought us up to a point of, hey, they're going to the Super Bowl, hey, they're going to the Stanley Cup, we got the best record in the conference. Yeah. Look at all we're doing, and then only to come kind of crashing down to a screeching halt. Yeah. If you look at disappointing as a whole, I mean, the Twins obviously losing over 100 games was horrendous. It was awful to watch. I mean, it was really bad. And then the Wolves, you thought, were going to be at least fun to watch, and I think at times they were fun, but the wins weren't there. The beginning of the year was really bad, and then it kind of got better, but not good enough to the point where they're in contention. I think the most heartbreaking for me was the Vikings. Yeah. To see a team go 5-0, to look like they're on top of the world after such the heartbreak at the beginning of the year with Teddy, and then to just kind of fall apart. I think I'd have to say the Vikings. The Wild season end was extremely disappointing, but the year was fun. Yeah. You had a lot of fun throughout the year, so I don't think I could say it was the most disappointing. It was probably the biggest letdown once the playoffs hit. They were the only team to make the playoffs. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, no, the Wild aren't as disappointing to me because honestly, I saw it coming, and I know, Minnesota sports fan negative, whatever. They were a team that played well in the regular season and lost in the playoffs. They went and got a coach that played well in the regular season and lost in the playoffs. So what did they do? They played really well in the regular season and lost in the playoffs. The Wolves and the Vikings are the teams that I care most about, so those are the most disappointing. And the Wolves, I had much higher hopes, and there was really not a whole lot to enjoy because they didn't even start the season off good, and then Zach LaVine got hurt. But they still have such a bright future. So for me, I'm going to say the Vikings are the most disappointing because I thought last year, I mean, going into it, and then Teddy gets hurt, and then it kind of played with your emotions because then they go 5-0. But I thought last year was a year that we've arrived. Now we're in contention, and now looking back at the Vikings now, it's hard to say. Are the pieces in place? Are we really as close as we thought we were? Yeah. You thought last year was. Maybe that was the year everything came together. Yeah, exactly. And but it didn't turn out that way. It clearly wasn't, and now you're wondering how much of a rebuild do we have to do? There's still, uncertainties with Teddy Bridgewater. Obviously, Peterson's gone. Greenway's leadership. And I feel a little more lost about the Vikings than I did even, last summer. I felt like we were a team that was at the start of our Super Bowl window. Yep. And now I'm not sure. So. I agree with you. I got to go Vikings. Not many teams start 5-0 and miss the playoffs. No. So I think I got to say the Vikings as well. Yeah. Let us know what you think. Yeah. Want to know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. See ya.